How's it going? So today I want to come to you with first of what I'm hoping is going to become an ongoing series for the channel. You've seen introduced my ThriveLife freeze-dried foods, and I want to do an ongoing series each month called our meal of the month. And so today I'm going to use this pre-packaged one. It's ThriveLife freeze-dried to go chicken fajita. This is just a small snack size. What I'm going to make out of this can be made from the individual ingredients, which I'm hoping to bring into the future meal of the month. Things that I have come up myself. Using the freeze-dried items, I'll put the menu together, I'll vacuum seal bag it, and then I will come out and cook it over a campfire stove of some type. So today's, I just want to do something really quick as the intro. Again, this is the chicken fajita pack. There's also a island pulled pork pack and a chicken salad pack. And you guys have seen the chicken salad. I've done that, not as a video necessarily, but pictures of that and some description. Today I'm going to do this one using the JetBoil Flash system. I have the burn ring, and so I'll get that all set up. I'll start this hydrating. This requires a 1/4 cup of hot water to rehydrate. If you're going to just eat it in the bag, I am not. I'm actually going to rehydrate it with some hot water, but I'm also going to use my heavy cover skillet, and I'm going to cook it up with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and then I'm going to put it into a gluten-free tortilla to make a fajita wrap. I just want to do something that is a fast, warm lunch on the go, just to give you an idea as an intro to the series and to the ThriveLife items. And then again, I intend to come back and do each month the menu item or the meal of the month. And most of those are going to be meals that I come up with on my own, stuff that the wife and I and the kids eat for normal meals at home, made from the ThriveLife freeze-dried foods. And again, for me, ThriveLife is such a wonderful option and opportunity, not just for backpacking, not for hiking and camping only, but for regular use, which is how we use them at home. We buy the individual items, right? So ground beef, sliced beef, which is kind of like steak, cut steak, shredded beef, chicken chunks, sliced seasoned chicken, like grilled chicken. They have pork items. They have, if you're not a meat eater, they have textured vegetable protein that is flavored like chicken, beef, or pork. I think they actually have turkey as well. So again, tons of items in the meat category. They have beans and rice, tons of vegetables. And the thing that I really like about the ThriveLife items is that, you know, by and large, unless you're buying the pre-made meal packs, which have seasonings or whatever in them, the items in it is just what you're buying, right? It's not a bunch of fillers and additives and preservatives. For example, let me just read you the ingredients of this particular packet. Freeze-dried, grilled, seasoned natural chicken breast strips with rib meat, fajita seasoning, red bell peppers, green bell peppers, and onion. Now, the seasoning happens to contain some dairy products, some milk derivatives. So this one wouldn't be dairy-free, but for me, I'm gluten-free. And so the ability for me to make my own pack meals and to eat food at home that is gluten-free because of how it's done gives me lots of options. And if you're familiar with buying the pack meals, most pack meals are, you know, $8 to $12 a meal. And once you go with you know, dairy-free, egg-free, gluten-free, any kind of food allergy or food dietary restriction item, you quickly jump to $12 to $15 per small meal. And so the ability to be able to buy in bulk, you know, small cans or large number 10 gallon cans of individual items, mix it together, use seasonings that I have checked and know are safe for my family and I to eat without disrupting the dietary needs, is a big deal. And then for me to be able to take meals that I like to eat already at home, have those exact same meals when I'm camping, when I'm hiking, when I'm backpacking, when I'm just out in the woods for a day hike or whatever, right? The ability to take foods that I already know and love, and I know what's in them, is wonderful, and to be able to do it at a fraction of the cost. This pack is, I think, about $3. All I have to do is add water in my tortillas, and that's something I would do anyway, but $3 is reasonable for me for a lunch. I can take from the bulk items, right, and I can take beef, steak strips, whatever, chicken, and I can make a comparable meal to, say, like a Mountain House or an Alpine Air, whatever, right? I can rehydrate it and I can cook it, and I can have exactly the same stuff that I would have at home. Beans and rice with hamburger and taco seasoning, or fajitas in this case, or a macaroni and cheese where I take a gluten-free noodle and rehydrate that, and then add a powdered cheese, or we sell shredded cheese in 5 or 6 different types of cheese: cheddar, Monterey Jack, Colby, Parmesan. So there's a number of different items, and the ability to make meals that I know I already like and have that comfort of home while being out where I want to be, in the woods or in the forest, or on the mountain or whatever. So it's a long introduction, and I apologize. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to set up the JetBoil, get some water going. I'll come back for that. We'll rehydrate the packet. Like I said, it only takes about a 1/4 cup of hot water. I'll rehydrate the pack, and then I'll come back again, and I'll put the skillet on the stove, and we'll go ahead and pan sear the items once they're rehydrated to bring them up to temperature, and I'll roll them up in the tortilla and have them a small lunch, and we'll call it good for this intro version of Meal of the Month. And then again, starting in January of 2019, I'm hoping to each month come back with another meal that I have assembled the ingredients myself from the individual items. There will probably be some that I'll come back that are pre-made, one of their package sets. They have Simple Plate, they have, like I said, a couple other of these, and then they have some backpacker style pre-made in a pouch, like Mountain House or Alpine Air or whatever. And I'll probably do some of those over the course of time, but really what I want to bring to you is the experience of seeing somebody take items, right, individual items that are already freeze-dried, putting them together and making exactly what you want. You don't have to make my recipe. I'll gladly share the recipe, but to give you an idea of the diversity of meals that you could make and fit within a specific dietary restriction, a set of guidelines that are really hard to find in pre-made meals. For me and my wife and my kids, the ability for us to make a base meal and leave cheese and egg stuff out of my wife's and gluten out of mine, and put all of it into my kids, who like all of that stuff and can have it, the ability for us to do that and all have the same meal, by separating out what needs to remain individual, I can mix together and add just what needs to be added at specific times, and that makes it really easy. So I hope you guys see the diversity, and I hope you fall in love with the product. The food tastes absolutely incredible. It is by far the best freeze-dried food I have ever tried. I've tried Wise, I've tried Augustin Farms. I like Mountain House, I like Alpine Air, but for me the big thing for them is all of the sodium and stuff that's in there to help with the preservation process. I understand why it's there, but I don't want that in my body all the time. I'm really trying hard to eat healthier, and I like the ability to make stuff, buying the cans that until opened have a 25-year shelf life, and once opened have at least a year shelf life. And we use our Food Saver bag all the time, machine and bags, and if you open something and you know you're not going to use it within the year, and we haven't had that problem. We've been eating Thrive foods for a year, and to be able to open the can, and if you know you're not going to use everything in it, to portion it out and Food Saver it into smaller quantities, and still have a 3 to 10 year shelf life depending on the item. Most of the time it's between 7 and 10 years for any of the items if you do it right after it's canned, right after the can is open. If you know you're not going to use it all to do that. So for us, I try to, if I know I'm not using something up, come up with some ideas and food saver them, and then just throw them in the cabinet or the pantry until I'm ready to go backpacking, and I've already got a pre-made backpacking meal that didn't cost me $15, maybe cost me $4 or $5, and it's a filling, hearty, healthy meal that fits my dietary needs. Anyway, I'm going to pause. We'll be right back. Stick around. Alright, we're back. I've got the canister base, the fuel canister, and the burner ring on. I'm going to go ahead and use the self-igniter, get this going. I'm going to add a little bit of water here. This is my heavy cover canteen. I'm going to add a little bit of water into the JetBoil cup. And you never want to put the JetBoil mug onto the flame until you have your liquid in it. So I'm going to go ahead now and get that on. This should not take terribly long. If you'll see the logo here as it starts to boil, if you're not familiar with the JetBoil, as the water comes up to boiling, this will turn a bright blaze orange and let me know that it's burning, that it's boiling. I'm going to go ahead and turn that around so I can see it. I'll let you see it once it's done. And then I'm going to get this open and remove the little oxygen tab. Sounds like it's getting close to boiling already. JetBoil says that the Flash system will boil water in 100 seconds, 2 cups of water within 100 seconds. I don't know if you can see that, but it's turning orange down at the bottom third of it, and it's starting to climb, and it'll probably only go as high as the water. I don't have a bunch of water in there, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Yep. I'm going to set that down for just a moment. And I'm going to open this up and put the burn ring on so that I can use my skillet here in a moment. So there's that. And I'm going to go ahead and pour. I'm going to let you see that. So it's bright orange. I'm going to go ahead and pour some water in here. Doesn't take a whole lot. So there's that. I'm going to seal this. I've taken the oxygen absorber out, which is what it says to do. And then I'm going to shake it up and squeeze it to get the water all over the freeze-dried ingredients inside, the vegetables and the chicken and the seasoning, and hopefully get that all mixed in real well. Alright, shake that up. And the instructions say let sit for about 5 minutes, stir again, add more water if needed. I think we'll be okay. And while that's sitting, I'm going to go ahead and get the skillet out and my little spatula here. So I'm going to take my 2,000 milliliter pot out and my skillet, my cutting board. So that's the heavy cover 8-inch titanium skillet. Let's set that on there. And I've got my plate and stuff here. I'm going to set it off to the side. Plate I'm going to use I'm going to set that down. I'll put a little bit of oil in the pan here. And I'm just using regular extra virgin olive oil. Doesn't need a whole lot. I just want to coat the pan. A really light coat on the pan. And I will pack my trash out. I don't like to leave trash. So I'll put all of that into my empty bag once I'm done. Let's see here. Give this about 3 more minutes, and then I will come back and we'll pick up the video again as I sear it up in pan. Alright, we're back. This should be just about fully rehydrated. Feels like it's nice and soft. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the JetBoil here with the burn ring on. There we go. Get the skillet on here. Start heating that up. We're going to cook this. It's about perfect. Yep, and already here it's simmering and sizzling. It's not going to take a whole lot of time. The rehydration time on this was 5 minutes. This is not going to take as long at all. In fact, I'm going to turn this down. Nice. Smells absolutely fantastic. And like I said, these little snack packs are not, not a huge meal by any means. Trash in that. Just about done. And I would say if I wasn't worried about, arranging the camera, making sure I got everything in view, whatever, this whole process would have taken setting up the stove, getting the water, rehydrating, 7 or 8 minutes total. Cooking, under 10 minutes. And I've got a hot meal that tastes really good, super fast, easy to do on the go. And the cleanup is put the trash back in the little pouch and pack it out. Not hard at all. So, grab me a tortilla here. I don't know if you can see that, but I've turned the fire off there. So there's my tortilla. I'm going to take this and just scoop it into the tortilla. Right. Set that off to the side. I'll clean it up here in a few moments. Look at that. I may actually come up there and get you a closer up picture of that. And then of course I'll take a still with my phone so you can see it as well. But look at that food. I mean, if I didn't know it was from freeze-dried, I would never have known it was from freeze-dried. And the first time I had Thrive, that's how it was. Somebody had made something, let me taste it. I was like, that's awesome. Can I get the recipe? And then they told me it was from ThriveLife freeze-dried food, and it was just like, no way that's freeze-dried. But it was. It is. And it is just fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my little lunch, and again, we'll see you hopefully each month with a new meal of the month made from ThriveLife freeze-dried foods. Super good. Really tasty.